Welcome to readers, viewers, and listeners, and welcome to this next edition of the Autistic SuperBlog's The Hot Take. As you all might know, I'm a game show fan. With everything that's been going on in my life, I almost forgot about a certain event that took place yesterday that I had not thought about until recently. It was today I it was recently that I found out that this that yesterday marked the 30th anniversary since the death of the individual who was considered not only to be the king of game shows, but but he was part of a team that one half. I mean, their names are synonymous when it comes to game shows, but his name is actually something that's really important. Um, this individual's name is the late great Mark Goodson. I mean, if that name sounds familiar to you, it should, because you may have heard it on other game shows in the past. If you've ever seen if you've ever seen Buzzer or GSN Game Show Network for us in the United States, they would always have this. They would always have games that were part of that always ended with "This is so and so speaking for like Now You See It," for example, a Mark Goodson Bill Todman production. And later on, when it came to Family Feud, just to name one example, and another example is The Price is Right. Um, it said that this is so and so speaking for The Price is Right, a Mark Goodson television production. If you were growing, if you were like myself, if you were growing up in the '90s, if you were growing up in the '80s, you could not have thought of a world without Mark Goodson, because he was that. His creations still live on, especially in Family Feud, but they all live on in not only reboots that have done good and bad in some cases, but they've also come on when it comes to The Price is Right, which celebrated its 50th year last year. So I just wanted to kind of give an idea as to how I got into the game show in the game show world. Ironically enough, it was not because of Mark Goodson. It was because of a game show called Press Your Luck, who you may have seen myself post photos, videos, and me posting BuzzardBlog videos from BuzzardBlog. Check them from BuzzardBlog.com. Please check them out. And I've heard a lot of people talk about it from past episodes of another podcast that I've two podcasts that I listen to, like mostly. They are the wonderful game show trio of Mike Jacobs, um, Tom Bastek, and Christian Carrion, known as Tell 'em What They've Won. And Christian's actually done another game show, a podcast in the that's coming up, or is up. It's called Tell Us About Yourself, which features former game show contestants, or game show contestants in general, that explain about their experiences and explain behind the scenes of the game show community. And it's those two are the main ones that I really like when it comes to game shows, because they share the same passion, they share the same enthusiasm that I do, and I know I'm not alone when it comes to the game show community. Um, but back to Mark Goodson. I mean, obviously, I heard about him through The Price is Right. I mean, if you were growing up in the '80s and '90s, and even today, you can't go 1 minute without thinking about Mark Goodson. I mean, and Bill Todman, of course. But another thing I thought about as I was thinking about it, is that they were the they were the only game show company in town that whose reputation wasn't hurt because of the quiz show scandals of the 1950s, the basis of which produced Jeopardy later on. But because because Goodson Todman game shows were so squeaky clean, they were so well thought out, they were so well enjoyed. They actually, not to say the controversy didn't affect them in later years, but when it came to the 1950s, in the aftermath of the game show scandals, they could be considered the only game show rep in town that wasn't rigged because their reputation was squeaky clean. They were always fair-handed when it came to game shows. They were always fair-handed when it came to new games. They were always fair-handed when it came to certain when it came to certain things that came up. Um, I mean, not to say that Barry and Enright wasn't, but Barry and Enright did take the fall for the quiz show scandals mostly, and a lot of contestants were blackballed. You couldn't say that when it came to Goodson Todman, and as someone that likes to be fair in all aspects of his life, maybe not exactly successful in some ways, I try and model myself after the Goodson Todman ideal that you can be honest, you can be fair-handed, you can live your games and your rep can be done honestly and not be considered something of a bad thing when it comes to things of that nature. Um, but I just wanted I just wanted to say thank you to Mark Goodson, Bill Todman, and everyone that is involved in the game show community these days. It's because of your enthusiasm, your enjoyment that makes these games so fun to watch. And I have to tip my hat to Mark Goodson, if I had a hat, to kind of say thank you for your vision. Thank you for your hosts, including, and I know it's what they want to probably hate me for not saying it, among those, the, the illustrious Dean of Game Shows, Bill Cullen, among others, like Tom Kennedy, like Bob Barker, like Richard Dawson, Gene Rayburn, among others. I mean, when it comes to the game show communities, um, Goods and Todman were pretty much the kings in that regard. And the reason why you see some, and another reason why you see some of their games on on Buzzer and GSN is because they actually had the foresight to actually keep the videotapes that they had instead of erasing them, as was their common practice in the day. So it's because of that their visions are enshrined in in aspects of our lives, whether it be Buzzer, or whether it be GSN Game Show Network, or whether it be on YouTube, like places like this. So I just wanted to say to the to the to the kings of the game show community, this one's for you. Um, if you guys like this video, if you guys like this tribute, you can check me out here on the Autistic Super channel on YouTube. You can check me out on Instagram. You can check me out. You can check out all my videos on the AutisticSuperBlog.wordpress.com. Stay safe, stay strong, play fair, and as always, shine on.